Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel, The Gym Shed Guy with me, Steve Lewis. Today what I'm going to do is start my plan. I said I was going to do it last week but I didn't get around to doing it. So the first thing I'm going to do is weigh myself. I know that I'm the lightest the day today. Usually do this first thing in the morning when you're the lightest, but it's now the afternoon when I'm making this video, but I would have done it first thing. Straight away after measuring myself, I'm going to get a tape measure, measure my body measurements, and then I'll show you an app I use on my phone, which I can put the measurements into it and it works out a rough estimate of my body fat percentage. Once I've got my body fat percentage, I can then work out my diet. So I'm going to try and do a new diet plan starting from today. It's going to be a bit different to what I used to do, because I used to eat for a bodybuilder, now I'm going to eat for a cyclist, so a bit more endurance. So the protein might go down a little bit because I don't think I need as much. You're not going to be breaking down the muscles as much as if you're doing heavy weight training. Fat might go up a little tiny bit just to give a bit of energy for the cycles, and carbs will be quite high probably. Or at least I put the carbs in high when I'm on a bike ride. So either take energy bars, bananas and dextrose drinks with me. So first of all, yeah, I'll weigh myself and then I'll show you what I'll do next. Okay, so I set up my weighing scales. I make sure I use it in the same place every time. I'm measuring mine in pounds, but I only do that because I think it's more accurate than if you measure in kilograms. I'll later convert it into kilograms, just so then I need to use kilograms to work out the diet plan. So if you've got electric scales, it'll be more accurate than if you just use analog, as it's got a point of a pound. 2.2. I'll try it 3 different times just to make sure it's the same every time. If you notice something really crazy, it might be your batteries are running out, or you change position. So it depends where you stand really. Sometimes you can get a different reading if you're leaning forward or leaning back. So one more time. It's about the same each time. I have got underwear on, so I'll take off the 0.2. We'll call it 192. And then I'll show you the next step. The next thing I'm going to measure is my neck. It's a measurement you need to work out the body fat percentage on the app on my phone. So just using a normal tape measure, you want to measure your neck in inches, and the way I do it is measure using the neck bent backwards, and measure at the base of the neck where it meets your traps around the biggest part. So mine today is 17 inches. It used to be more like 19 or 20 when I was 230 pounds, so it has gone down quite a little bit. But yeah, measure it. As long as you measure it in the same place each time, well then your results will be good. Then you need to measure your waist. So if you look at some figures, the way they say to measure your waist, it has it up here, but whenever you buy jeans and trousers and shorts, you have your shorts here around. That's where I put my trousers. I never ever have them up here, so I don't know why you'd ever want to measure up here. Okay, yeah, that's your bone there, but that's where you put your jeans. So again, as long as you measure it at the same place each time, your result's going to be pretty good. So just pull down your shorts a little bit just so you're not measuring around the shorts. Also, what I do is I make sure I tense my stomach to make it as small as possible each time. Obviously, if you just had food, you can be bloated and you could breathe out. So the best way to make sure you're doing the same measurement each time would be to tense your stomach and measure the smallest part as possible. So we're tense, make sure the tape's tight at the back. The smallest part of your waist, bring it nice and tight. My waist there today is 31. Obviously I could pull that really tight and breathe in like this, but that's going to be cheating too much. Don't breathe in, just tense. A normal tense position, tense as you can. Make sure the tape's tight but not pulled in. And my waist there today is 31. So once I weigh myself, I know my weight in pounds or kilograms, whichever you prefer. Then you've got your neck measurement in inches and you've got your waist measurement in inches. And then what I do is I've downloaded this app called Body Tracker. You've also got to set it up with your name, your height and your weight and things to start with. But I've done that already. So there we've got my name. I think you can buy more profiles. So you could use this for personal training with different clients. But I've only got the normal one. See at the bottom here it says buy, add, delete, export. So buy in would be to buy another profile, and then you can add another person, delete a person, or export. I think export would be probably to email the document to the customer or to your friend. So I've only got the one profile. Click on Steve. Here then you got all my information from history. I haven't used this for a couple of days, so it's not 100% accurate, but I'll just show you what I'm going to do today. So you click on the top corner and you've got these different things you can do, profiles and body fat, tape measurements. If you click on your tape measurements, you can put in your bicep, your forearms, upper thighs, calves, neck, chest, shoulders, waist and hips. I haven't done that. I don't use that to record. I use just a bit of paper and computer. I think you can put in pictures, save pictures in your photo library, weight, put your body weight in, history. But what I'm going to do here today is click on body fat. There's different body fat methods you can use. These are just home methods. Obviously, if you use the bod pod or underwater weigh-in, it's going to be more accurate than using just the weighing scales and the app. But who's got a bod pod in the house? Nobody. So that's a waste of time even talking about that method. Who's got an underwater weighing scales? Nobody. So that's a waste of time. Skinfold calipers, I have got a pair of them. Everyone says they're quite accurate. Gyms use them. I think they're rubbish. If you buy I'll tell you the reason why. If you buy the more expensive ones, they're metal, so they don't bend. Obviously, they'll be more accurate when you're using them. But you need someone who's experienced in using them to make sure they're doing the right measurement in the right place. You have to make sure you measure the right place every time. But I know a scientist has done the measurements, and they're based off dead bodies. They've measured and they've done tests, but everybody has fat stored in different parts of their body. Everyone's different. So if you start here, the Jackson or Pollock method with a 3, that means 3 different body measurements. The Jackson Pollock method with 7 is 7 different body measurements from different parts around the body. But different people store body fat in different areas. There's areas of the body with fat on it that hasn't got it in that test. For example, you might have big fat calves, but it only measures the chest and the abs and the back. But if you've got a really lean back, a really lean chest and a really lean abs, well then the results are going to say you're lean, but you've got big fat thighs and fat bum and fat neck, fat cheeks, you can have fat hands. So what I'm going to do is, instead of using the Skinfold caliper method, I'm just going to use one called the Navy method. So all you have to do is put in your weight in pounds. So I was 192. Put in your height in inches. I'm 70.5. Then it asks you for neck measurement. So I was 17 today. Then it asks for your abdomen measurement. So I was 31 today. And then that's your body fat, 5.89%. Essential says 2 to 5. Athletic is 6 to 13. Fitness is 14 to 17. Acceptable is 18 to 25. And 25 and above would then be obese. So for my height, I should be, anywhere there really. So 6 to 13% athletic. I have been a little bit below that before. Obviously, 5.89. That's just a guess, just an estimate. But then it's all an estimate. Even the skin fold method would be an estimate. So save that for a later date. Lean body weight, 180 pounds. So now I can use this data now to work out my diet, because if I'm 5.89% fat, I don't want to feed that body weight with food. I only want to feed my lean body weight with food. So forget about 192 pounds. You don't work out your diet from 192 pounds. You work out the diet from 180, well, call it 181 pounds. Okay. So minus the 11 from 192, 181 pounds. I do need to work out my diet in kilograms, so I will convert that into kilograms. But I like to weigh myself in pounds just to show. The reason is because if you grow 1 pound or lose 1 pound a day, well, that would be half a kilogram. It's just not as easy to see, especially if you've got analog weighing scales. You'll see the results quicker and easier in pounds. Especially if you've got a digital, you can use 0.8, 0.89. You know, we're not kids now. You can use 0.5, 0.6, 0.7 of a pound. Okay, so that's the way I measure myself. That's the way I do the height, the weight, the neck, the waist, and then I put it into the app. What I do for the future, just to see if I'm growing or getting leaner, I also measure my muscles. So I'll measure my chest, my waist, my thigh, my calf, my bicep, and my forearm. Again, I'll do my chest twice. I actually do it once when I'm relaxed, so as arms down at the widest part of the chest, and I'll also do it once with my arms and my chest flexed and tense as hard as I can, lat spread, just so I can see the biggest part of my body. Abs, I said to measure with stomach tensed, nice and tight, not breathing in, just tensed. Thighs, again, straight leg but tensed. Obviously, if you bend your leg a little bit, your hamstring's going to tense a little bit, but then your quad will relax a little bit. So it depends. If you've got a bigger hamstring than quad, you could cheat and just bend your hamstring. But straight leg. Calves, I do, again, tensed. You can bend your ankle a little bit just to make sure your calf is flexed and tense as big as possible. Forearm, I tense it again. Bend the wrist in a little bit just to make sure your forearm's measured at the widest part. Biceps, I measure, because I want to measure bicep, not straight arm relaxed, I measure it with the arm flexed. You know, bend the elbow, tense as hard as you can, twist the wrist in, make sure the biceps are at the peak. If you have a straight arm, you're obviously going to measure your tricep, not your bicep. So biggest part of the tricep, biggest part of the bicep, make sure it's measured, elbow bend. If you want to, you could also measure around the outside of the shoulders. So stand up straight, arms down the side of the body. Easier if someone else helps you. Measure around the biggest part of the back, around the widest part of the shoulders, and the fullest part of the chest. You can use that method to use that you can work out your body fat ratio. What's it called? Your ratio of shoulders to waist ratio. It's called a golden ratio. You should have your shoulders should be so wide and your waist should be so narrow. And it works out the perfect number of how big you should be. Really, if you know how small your waist's going to be, like I said, mine's 31 inches today. Realistically, I can't get my waist much smaller than that. As you can see from the video, my waist is dead flat at the front. You've got the bones on the side, and then you've got your rectus spinae muscle sticking out at the back. So really, I can't really get my waist much more than 31. Possibly 30, 30 and a half maybe at the push. So if you want to increase your golden ratio, you'd have to increase then your girth or your width of your shoulders. But depends if you want to go for a classic look or a wide bodybuilder style look. Yeah, so I'm thinking about doing a bit of extra weight training to get my legs stronger. Possibly do some arms and shoulders for a bit of upper core strength, and also just to look like I'm fit and healthy and I do train. A lot more ab work. Now I've lost weight, lost fat, I want to make sure I've got good abs. Like I said before, I've never trained abs really, so I want to make sure that I've got some good abs. And also now it's winter as well, so I'm not going to be able to go on long bike rides. It's cold, it's dark, it's wet. I've got lights, but it's just dangerous. If it's windy and raining, I can have a day in. So I want to replace that cycling with weight training. I've noticed in the last month I've done less miles, so I still need to burn off the fat, still need to keep myself active. So over the winter, build a bit of power through weight training, possibly by an indoor turbo trainer as well. But yeah, so the next video I'll make is showing you what I do with these figures to get my diet. So I'm going to have a quick revise and research to see, I might change the calculations for my diet. I know now exactly in my head what I would do if I was bodybuilding, how many grams of protein, grams of carbs and grams of fat I would have per kilogram of lean weight. I'd know that, but I'm thinking for a cyclist, for endurance training, the mixture would be a little bit different, and also when you take the food will be different as well. So what I'll do is I'll quick read, and by the time I make the next video I'll know 2 different options of how you can change your macros in your diet. Okay, so thank you for watching. Hope I haven't mumbled too much. As I said, I'm not going to edit these videos too much. There's going to be raw videos. Today I have got a new iPhone, so when I got that up and running, I might start doing some live streaming as I got more data in my package. So possibly live streaming, no edits, just as it is, and hopefully gonna post up some more videos. So stay tuned, comment, subscribe, like and share. Let me know anything you want to know, any questions, and what you want to see, what you want to know, and what motivates you. So see you soon.